Hello all. So again, welcome back to another week. So we will have to be learning again for the 5 remaining days for this week. Hope you all had a nice weekend. I cannot say that because most of us are stuck inside the house, right? And the play areas closed, malls closed, no shopping. But still, we have to put up with all of that for our safety. So let's get started with the lesson. Uh, we will start by checking our homework for lesson 6. I think most of you would have finished the homework by now, right? You had a weekend, so of course you will be able to complete all the subject homeworks. So let's start by checking the homework for lesson 6. Again, don't ask teacher which page, page 455. Okay, so let me start doing one by one quickly so that I don't have to make this video very long, as we have to take a new lesson too. So we will start with question number 2, where we have z divided by 16. I have told you this line means it's divide equals 8. So when we are finding the value of z, we need to separate the number from z, which means we will do the opposite when we bring it to the other side. So it's going to be z equals 8 multiplied by 16. So z is going to be 128. Okay, so z is going to be 128. Now, if you have not checked, don't be lazy to check, because they have asked you to check the solution. Okay, so let's check it. What's the first step? Write the same equation as it is. So z over 16 equals 8. The value of z we got is 128 divided by 16. If you do the long division way, of course you're going to get 8 equals 8, which means our answer is going to be right. Okay, so moving on to question number 3. 3.5x, which means 3.5 multiplied by x equals 14.7. So move it to the other side, the multiply becomes divide. So x is equal to 14.7 divided by 3.5. Now again girls, I'm not showing you all the steps what to do, because I have explained you enough how to divide decimals. I will only quickly show you how you need to write the division part. So 14.7 divided by 3.5. Again, you cannot divide when you have a decimal in the divisor, right? So we need to move the decimal, which means the decimal in the dividend will move one place behind. So the question you are going to be solving is 35 divided by 147. Now you know that you cannot divide 14 by 35, so you'll be dividing 147 by 35. So you'll be getting 4. So that is going to give you 14. Now you cannot leave the remainder as 7. You need to add a decimal, first a 0 as well as a decimal, and then continue dividing it until you get the remainder as 0. So here we have already 235s are 70. So your answer should be x is equal to 4.2. Okay, so this is how you do. Again, I'm repeating, you cannot divide a divisor with a decimal when the divisor has a decimal, so you need to move the decimal out. So when it moves out, it means one place it moves back. Also from the dividend, it needs to move one place behind. So that will be like 147. The decimal will be moved out. So that's why we divided 147 by 35. But what happened is we got a remainder as 7. So you need to add another 0 and a decimal and continue dividing until your remainder is 0. Now again, for checking, so what are you going to do? You need to replace 3.5, the x with 4.2. So if you multiply this 2, you will be getting 14.7. Okay. So 3.5 multiplied by 4.2 will be giving you 14.7. Okay, so let's move on to question number 4. That's 32 again divided by 3.2. Again here it means 32 equals 3.2 multiplied by c, right? So when the multiply, we have to remove the decimal, we have to remove the number away from the letter. The decimal, the multiply will change into divide. So that's going to be 32 divided by 3.2 equals c. Again the same rule here, you will put 32 inside and 3.2 outside. The divisor has a decimal, we need to move the decimal out, so that means one place value. Because here we don't have decimal, we will add a 0 to this number, so you will have in fact 32 divided by 320. So c is going to be equal to 10. Okay, so the same way you need to be checking your answer also. So check your answer. It's going to be 32 equals 3.2 multiplied by 10. You know, when we multiply with decimals wheel, means the decimal will move behind, it will move back. So we have 1 0, which means the decimal will move one place behind. So that means 32 equals 32. Our answers are right. Okay, question number 5, we have 2 over 5w equals 40. Now 2 over 5 w means 2 over 5 multiplied by w, which means when it moves to this side it will become divide. So w equals 40 divided by 2 over 5. Again we have no divide here, no number means it's 1. We are going to divide fractions. So divide fractions we cannot do, we will use KCF. Okay, so it's going to be 40 over 1, keep it, change it and flip it. So we are going to be getting w equals 200 over 2. So w is going to be 100. Now do check your answer again. We have 2 over 5 multiplied by 100 equals 40. This means 100 over 1 because we don't have a denominator. So 2 100s are 200 divided by 5 should give us 40. So yes, 200 divided by 5 is 40, which means all three of our answers are right. Question number 6, we have a divided by 14 equals 6.8. So which means this is divide, right? Divide, so the opposite of divide is multiply. We are going to multiply 6.8 by 14. Now if you multiply 6.8 by 14, you are going to be getting 95.2. I'm not showing you the steps, girls, because I don't think by now you all know how to multiply and divide decimals and fractions. Don't use the calculator, please. I'm keeping you reminding it again and again. Don't use the calculator, it's not gonna help you in any way. Okay, maybe for time being, yes, you can be happy I got the answer, but you know, until in grade 8 you're not allowed to use the calculators in school, so you will not be able to do mental math unless you don't do these steps properly. Okay, so for checking we have 95.2 divided by 14 should give you 6.8. Now again, I'm not showing you the steps here, I'll only show you how to write the question. 95.2 divided by 14, if you divide you will be getting, though I'm telling I'm not showing, I'm still showing you the steps. Okay, so this is going to be 1 here, so bring down the 2, so that is 8 4s are 32 and it's going to be 100. Don't forget to put the decimal, so it is 6.8 equals 6.8. okay, now next one, question number 7, 1.6x, which means 1.6 multiplied by x equals 1.6. So x equals 1.6 divided by 1.6, right? Because it's multiply, so when it comes to the other side that will become divide. So how are you going to solve this? You will be getting 1.6 divided by 1.6. I can also write it the other way. I can also write it like this: x is equal to 1.6 divided by 1.6. It's the same because this is the division sign. Okay, so I don't think I need to be doing anything because it's logic that any number divided by the same number will give you 1. Whether it's decimal or fraction or anything, if you divide a number by the same number, your answer is going to be 1. Okay, so that's why I did not do the steps. So again, for checking, it's going to be 1.6 multiplied by 1 should give you 1.6. Again, logic, any number multiplied by the same number is going to be the same number. So 1.6 equals 1.6. Okay, so moving on to question number 8, we have through 23.8 equals 3.5b, which means we need to separate these two, right? 3.5 multiplied by b, so when we are solving it, it will become divide. So when we are dividing, it is going to be 23.8 divided by 3.5 equals b. Again, we are dividing decimals. I will not show you the steps, of course. I will only show you what goes inside the number. Numerator goes inside, the denominator becomes the divisor. Again, we have a decimal for the divisor, which means we need to remove it. Okay, just kick it out. So how many places are we going to kick this decimal place out? 1, which means from the divisor dividend as well, the decimal place moves behind. So all what you need to do is divide 238 by 35. So if you divide 238 by 35, you will be getting 6.8. Okay, so B is going to be 6.8. So again, for checking, we have 23.8 equals 3.5 multiplied by 6.8. So if you multiply in the proper way, you will be getting the same answer, 23.8 on both the sides. Do it properly with the steps, put the numbers in order, then you need to move the decimal points into 2 decimal places after multiplying, then you will be getting 23.80 in fact, but we don't take it as 80, we say it as 23.8. Okay, now here this question, again we have a multiplying equation here, which means when we move it to the other side, it becomes divide. So 3 over 5 divided by 2 over 3 equals t. There is no fraction division, so we are going to be using keep, change, flip. Okay, so that's going to be 9 over 10 equals t. Okay, so for checking, it is 3 over 5 equals 2 over 3 multiplied by the value of t is 9 over 10. So let's see whether we are getting 3 over 5 if we multiply this to 2 9s are 18, 3 10s are 30. We need to simplify it. The GCF of 18 and 30 is 6. So I'm going to divide it by 6, or you can even divide it by 3 and then by 2 again. It's up to you, but we need to get this in the simplest form. Okay, so 3 over 5, 18 divided by 6 is 3, 30 divided by 6 is 5, which means the answer we got is correct. Okay, now quickly moving on to the problem solving questions. What do they say? Anne runs 6 laps on a track. She runs a total of 1 mile or 5,280 feet. Write and solve an equation to find the distance in feet that she runs in each lap. So what is the information given here? Anne runs 6 laps, which means 6 laps is either 1 mile or 5,280 feet. So what you need to find out is in 6 laps she ran this much, because I'm using this in the Anne's question. They have asked us to find it in feet, not in miles. Okay, so that's why it's easy for us to just divide and write the answer directly rather than doing it in miles and then changing it again. So we have 5,280 miles. She ran in 6 laps. So in 1 lap, how many did she run? See, each means 1. So what are you going to do? Directly you can write the equation as this. This is the easy way of writing it. 5,280 divided by 6. We need to find in each lap how much she ran. So lap means, in the in the race course, we have laps like this. You run around this. This is called a lap. Okay, if you see the ground where you practice for running, it is in an oval shape and you run around. So this is called one lap. Okay, so Anne ran 6 laps like this, which equaled 5,280 feet. So this is the easiest way of writing the equation, because it's directly we know what to do. But in the correct way, like in the perfect way, if you're writing, you need to write the equation like this. She ran 6 times, right? How many? Each lap she ran 6 times. So 6 multiplied by L equals 5,280. As you can see now, if you want to solve this equation, 6 multiply L, when you move the 6 to the other side, it becomes divide by L. So that's what I wrote here directly. But this is the correct equation, 6 multiplied by L, because L is 1 lap. So she ran 6 times, which equal 5,280. So it's the same way we are going to solve this also, whether you write it like this or both of them are equations, right? They have an equal sign and both sides should be equal. That's what an equation shows you. So you can use this or you can use that. Both of them are going to be correct. So how much is 5,280 divided by 6? You will be getting, if you divide in the long way, don't use calculators, so you will be getting 880 feet equals L, or L equals 880. I did not do the long way, but you have to solve it the correct way and find out the answer. Okay, question number 11. In a serving of 8 fluid ounces of pomegranate juice, there are 32.8 grams of carbohydrates. Okay, write and solve an equation to find the amount of carbohydrates in each fluid ounce of the juice. So what are we going to find? We are going to find the amount of carbohydrates. So let's name this as C, like how we named the previous lap as L. Let's name this as C. Okay, so what are you going to find here? They said in one serving of 8 ounces of pomegranate juice. So we can write this as 8 multiplied by C. There is 32.8 grams of carbohydrates. So in 8 fluid ounces of pomegranate juice, there are 32.8. Okay, so 8 multiplied by C equals 32.8, which means, how are we going to solve? Or you can also write this equation, 32.8, this is the total amount of carbohydrates in 8. So they are asking us the carbohydrates for each. So you can also write the equation like this. We know we have to divide it. 32.8, the total one, we have to divide to get each, right? Wherever we have to find each, we have to divide. Or we can write the opposite, 8 multiplied by C equals 32.8. Now if you are solving this, it becomes the same as I wrote up. It's the same, right? So now again, if you divide this in the correct way, you will be getting 4.1 gram. So C equals 4.1 gram. I hope you girls have done this question, because most of you want to run away and escape from problem solving. Okay, so next page. The first question. Estella buys 1.8 pounds of walnuts for a total of 5.04 pounds. The equation is already given for you here. You just have to solve it. So 1.8p equals 5.04, which means p equals 5.04 divided by 1.8. So you will move the decimal one place. Again here you will move. So which means you will have to divide 50.4 by 18. So if you divide 50.4 by 18, you will be getting the answer 2.80. Okay girls, so question number 2. We have Gabriel wants to solve the equation. Okay, she wants to solve the equation. What step should he do to get m by itself on one side of the equation? So here you don't have to solve anything. You just have to say only to isolate m. See, by itself. So isolate m means keep the m alone. What should you do for this equation? They are just asking you for the instructions. What will you do? Just move the 5.8 to the other side by dividing it, because this is 5 over 8 multiplied by m equals 25, right? So multiply becomes divide. So what I'm going to write, move 5 over 8 to the other side by dividing it. So once you move the 5.8, dividing the equation, we have to write it in good English, right? Okay. I know my handwriting is bad, but you can understand what I have written, okay? So 5 over 8 moved to the other side, it becomes divide. They just want you to tell them what will happen, what do you do to keep m alone. That's all. Okay, girls. So this was your homework. I hope there will be no problem, but if you have any problem, you can just message me anytime and ask for it. So quickly, now let's move on to today's lesson. All of your favorite problems, problem solving lesson, which is chapter 8, lesson 7, page 457. So we are going to be solving page 457. As usual, we are not going to be doing any of these. We will only start directly from the problem solving question. Okay, it's the same. You have to divide or multiply, I think. Yeah. Okay, so Connor ran 3 kilometers in a relay race. His distance represents 3/10 of the total distance of the race. The equation 3 over 10d is equal to 3 can be used to find the total. So they want you to, what was the total distance of the race? So simply, first what do you need to do? Write a simpler equation. Simpler equation means they want you to arrange this equation first. So how are you going to arrange it? D equals, okay, 3 divide by 3 over 10, because we will move the 3 over 10 to the other side. It means multiply, so we divide it. Next, solve the equation. There's simpler one, but I don't want, there is another way of doing it. I just don't want you to get confused in this. That's why I'm just doing the normal way. Okay, so D equals 3 over 1 multiplied by 10 over 3, again KCF, right? So it's going to be 3 tens are 30 over 3. So the race is 10 kilometers long. That's how you need to do it. Okay, so the next question, what if Connor's distance of 3 kilometers represented only 2/10 of the total distance? So here they said it represented 3/10, right? But here they're saying, what if it is 2/10? So let's write the equation again. Now I'm using this space here. This is for question number 2. So instead of 3/10 in the question, I am replacing the 3/10 with 2/10. D equals 3. Okay, so how are you going to solve it? D equals 3 divided by 2 over 10, which means 3 multiplied by 10 over 2. Right, so D equals 30 over 2, which is equal to 15. 30 over means 30 divided by 2 equals 15. So what is the total distance of the race? 15 kilometers. That's how you need to do it. Okay, question number 3. The lightest puppy in a litter weighs 9 ounces, which is 3/4 of the weight of the heaviest puppy. Now again the equation is given. Just have to solve it. How much does the heaviest puppy weigh? That's all. So here I'm writing the space here. Question number 3. You do it before me. I will do it very slowly. You first solve it and then you see whether the answer is correct or not. You don't watch the video now. I will do it, but you don't watch it. You do it by yourself. Did you all finish it? Okay, now check your steps whether you have done it right. All what we need to do is move the 3 over 4 to the other side, so it becomes divide, because this means it's multiply. So divided, again we don't have we don't have divide, so we keep it, change it, flip it. So we got 9 fours are 36 over 3, which is equal to 36 divided by 3 will give you 12. So how much does the heaviest puppy weigh? 12. And they have given us the question in ounces, so we need to write the answer also in ounces. Okay, now similar to question 4, again Sophia took 2/5 of the pizza that was left over from a party. The amount she took represents half of the whole pizza. So this is the equation. How many pizzas were left over? So what are you going to do? You need to, of course, solve this equation. Now again, I will solve it without telling anything. You solve it first, then check the answer, whether the steps are right or not. Start solving it now. Okay, done girls. So this is question number 4. We have 2 over 5p equals half. So we keep the p alone. This means it's multiplied, right? Because they both are together. So p equals half divided by 2 over 5. P equals half multiplied by 5 over 2. Again, we are using KCF. Okay, so 1 5s are 5, 2 2s are 4. 5 divided by 4 gives you 1, 1 remainder, and 4 is the denominator. So how much pizza was left? 1/4 of the pizza was left. Pizzas were left. Okay, question number 5. It's easy, right? This problem solving chapter lesson is easy. Okay, a city received 3/4 inch of rain in on July 31st. This represents 3/10 of the total amount of rain in the city the city received in July. The equation, again they have given you the equation. How much rain did the city receive in July? So the equation is this. You need to solve it. So come on, start solving it by yourself. I will also solve it along with you, but don't look at the screen. You do it, then you look at the screen. Okay, good. So I think you have finished it, but this is a quite a little bit longer question compared to the others. The steps are going to be the same. You have to isolate the r. You have to keep the r alone. So that means the 3/10 become divide, right? So which means it's going to be 3 over 4 multiplied by 10 over 3, because again keep it, change it, and flip it. Whenever there is division fractions, you have to use KCF. So I kept it, changed it, and I flipped it. Now here what I did is I simplified this. Simplified in the sense I have 3 and 3 on the opposite side. So I just cancelled and wrote 1 1, because it's the same number. 3 1s are 3, 3 1s are 3. Else if you're doing it, 3 multiplied by 10 is 30. 4 multiplied by 3 is 12 also, it's right. So you'll be getting like 30 over 12, and then you need to simplify this. Okay, so however you simplify, you're going to get 2 over 4, which means again you need to simplify this. So 2, I simplified it with 2, so your answer has to be 2 1.5 inches, because the question is in inches. See, look at the question, they gave you in inches. Now those who have done it this way, you will be getting 2 6 over 12. Right, so which means you need to divide it with 6 again. So again you will also get the same answer as 2 1.5. It's the same whether you simplify before multiplying, or you multiply and then simplify, answer cannot be changed. Okay, so now let's go on to a go deeper question. Question number 6. We have Carol ordered 4 dresses for $80 each. Okay, she ordered 4 and each is 80. So one dress is 80 and she ordered 4. A $25 sweater and a coat. The cost of the items without sales tax was $430. Okay, what was the cost of the coat? So what did she buy? She bought 4 dresses for $80 each, which means first we need to find out how much is the total amount for 4 dresses, right? So first what I'm going to do, again I'm going to be using the space here, girls, because the space there is not enough. So she bought for $80 one, which means for 4 you need to multiply, right? So if you multiply, you will be getting $320. This amount is only for the dresses, for 4 dresses. Okay, then again what did she buy? She again bought a sweater for $25. So this was for dress, right? How much was the sweater now? It is $25. And then she bought a coat again. We don't know the price of the coat, so let's keep it as X or let's keep it as C. We don't know. And the total cost was $430. So we have to find out what's the price of the coat. So you know you have to add these 3, only then you will be getting 430. Now the problem here is we don't know what is X. So how are we going to find out what's X? But we know the total. When we add the 3, we will get 430. So let's write the equation for this. 320 plus 25 plus X should give you 430. First let's add this 2. How much is 320 plus 25? That's going to give you 345. Plus X equals 430. So because this is a now plus, so when it moves to the other side, that's going to become 430 minus 345, right? X is going to be 10 minus 5 is 5. Then we have 2 here, we cannot, so 12 minus 5 is 8. So the cost of the coat is going to be $85. This is how you need to be solving this question. This is why I always say underline and read the question again and again. You will understand the problem solvings are so easy. Only that you need to concentrate and read them. That's all. Okay, now the last question. Let's see. Question number 8. We'll solve this question. Okay, quickly. Explain how could you use the strategy solve a simpler problem to solve the equation. So how are we going to solve this? 3 over 4x equals 3 over 10, right? So all what you have to do is isolate the x. So that's going to be 3 over 10. Divide by 3 over 4. X is going to be 3 over 10 multiplied by 4 over 3 because we're using KCF. Again, we can cancel 3 and 3 because it's the same. Again, we are left with 4 over 10, which means you divide this by 2. So the answer is 2/5. That's all. Okay girls, so that's the end of your problem solving lesson. I hope this was not a difficult one at all for you. So of course you have to do the homework now. For your homework you will be having question, let me check. So that's page 461. You will have to be doing question number 2, 3. Okay, it's not clear enough. Then question number 1 and 2 on the next page. That's all. So there are just 4 questions to be done. So until we meet tomorrow in the next video, take care of yourselves and stay safe, and don't forget to study the other subjects also.